Hello, everybody, and welcome to 8th grade U.S. History, Social Studies. I'm Paul Harney, and I will be teaching your son or daughter everything from the Civil War up until current events, what's happening right now in America. And throughout the year, we'll be using a bunch of different methods and means to convey the information. And if you ever have any questions as we progress, please feel free to reach out to me via email or you can call through the school. I'd just like to briefly take you through some of the basics of what we're doing in class here in social studies. You'll see, I have PowerPoints, keynotes on our second unit, third unit, technically, Reconstruction. We did a little with geography to start the year, make sure map skills, how to read a map, how to understand a map. Then we reviewed the Civil War, what we ended with last year. Technically, we typically don't do it, but with the way last year unfolded, we went back and redid the Civil War so we could have a better understanding of what's happening in America today in 2020. So that we could better understand current events. I took a week to go back and look at some of the events that led up to the Civil War and during and after, which will help us better understand Reconstruction. So throughout this year, you know, when you're in class, if you see what's up on the board here, there'll always be some objectives, daily activities, what we're doing. The homework is always listed on the board when they come in. A warm-up sort of gets them in the mindset of social studies. Today it was about Gettysburg and the role. But so there's no reason that they ever don't know the homework, because I condition them to write it when they come in. And then what we're doing, there's usually some visual cues that go along, you know, with what we're doing up on the board. Today we were watching a little of the story of us in Gettysburg to sort of bring it full circle into a conclusion of the Civil War. And tying in our map skills throughout the year. Our textbook, which they should have already brought home, is part 2. In 7th grade, they got the part 1. This is, you know, in New York too. They are getting online access to the textbook and all the resources, which has audio, tons of primary documents. It's awesome. There was a little glitch and holdup from McGraw-Hill at the beginning, but we solved it. So, you know, your son or daughter will have access to the online book as well as the hardcover, which is awesome. To convey the information in 8th grade, I use a packet system, which, you know, it has all the assignments on the front, the key vocabs, the focus questions, if you will, the main ideas for the whole unit, all the different, we do our notes right in the packet. The graphic organizers are in here. Their homework, everything they're going to need to be successful for that particular unit. The first one that hopefully they brought home was all about Reconstruction, which you see on the smart board. But that's something that should have came home. It's in their binders, but every unit is a different color. We had geography. Civil War was a separate one, but now we're into Reconstruction. When it comes to grades for their assignments, it's a 70-30, 70 summative, formative 30, which basically means the tests and the projects are weighed heavier than the homeworks and the more foundational activities to support the higher learning goals and objectives. Added together 100%. Now, to come up with the different activities and assessments, I use a variety of differentiated instruction because every kid displays their learning differently. I try and incorporate some choice activities where they can display what they learned, giving them the freedom to choose how they're going to display their learning. I try and incorporate that as best I could in a lot of different activities. Doesn't always happen for every single assessment, but more often than not, it will. So to help them, like I said, display what they understand. Throughout the year, it would be great to continue at home to give them an unbiased understanding of current events. And that's what I'm doing in the classroom. I want them to come up with their own judgments, their own ideas about events in U.S. history then and now. We have journals where we're looking at current event issues where I portray and give them the information and let them make their own judgments, whether it be COVID, whether it's protests, rallies, presidential elections. I mean, there's a lot going on in U.S. history right now as we speak that they hopefully are formulating opinions on and then are able to support their opinions with some details. And they're recording them in their journals. And it's important because it ties into history. As I said at the very beginning, I mean, we're talking about civil rights today, but back during the Civil War, Reconstruction, that was the basis for where we're at today. And America is still striving to reach some of those ideals. But so throughout the year, if you ever have any questions, concerns, please reach out, send an email, and hopefully, we can have a great year, because so far your son or daughter has been so respectful of what we're trying to accomplish in school and keeping everybody here. It's been a great start. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope they're enjoying the class. Thank you very much. Paul Harney, Social Studies. Have a good year.